Hello, dear souls. What a joyful occasion to be with all of you. We are celebrating Divine Mother's Day. This is Divine Mother's Festival. And what a pleasure. And I'm so grateful to be able to share stories of Sister Gyanamata. Just preparing for this talk, going through her examples, it is so liberating. It is so joyful that those vibrations, really, those vibrations are just so amazing. It's very hard to describe. Sister Gyanamata was an enlightened and liberated soul. When she was very young, she had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations, and she quickly honed in on a principle that really guided her entire life. And that principle is God alone. In fact, she had once commented that, as far back in her life that she can look back, every thought that she had, there was never a thought that did not have the thought of God behind it. She was she was so pure and constantly attuned to Master and God. And Master actually said that she was a great saint. She was one of Master's highest disciples. And when she left her body, Master had mentioned that a great saint has left us. And there are a lot of stories, beautiful stories. In fact, a couple of days before her passing, I highly urge, encourage you to read the book God Alone, and you see the love between guru and disciple, between master and sister, Gyanamata. So, anyways, at her funeral service, he did say that a great saint, a great soul has passed away, but she did leave her spiritual footsteps. And many people who are suffering will actually follow those footsteps to my father's home. And those spiritual footsteps are also with us today. And we, as Master's disciples, in the vibration of Sister Gyanamata, not just on this day of celebrating Divine Mother, but every day, should feel inspired to really follow her footsteps as we follow our progress or keep going on our own spiritual journey. The story of Master meeting Sister Gyanamata for the first time at her house in Seattle is also very beautiful and very inspiring. So this was the first time she was seeing her, and it was instant recognition between guru and disciple. Master had said that she had been his disciple in previous incarnations, and he gave him the direct experience of God, the sound of Om. She joined Mount Washington when she was about 62, 63 years old. So she has been a spiritual householder for so many years. And she served faithfully, she served with extraordinary patience and very unassumingly. And this is a quality that we want to highlight and celebrate in all mothers, doing that so joyfully and without any complaints, day in and day out. So that was Sister Gyanamata before she moved into the monastery. Later on in her years, as her body became frail and was not really cooperating with her, she did not lose her, indomitable spirit. In fact, she had commented that it felt like she has been thrown into a fiery furnace that is burning her from inside, but not really consuming her. That was the amount of pain she was in. And she was in this pain even when she was a householder in Seattle. But she never complained. She would just quietly do her work, obscure, working behind the scenes all the time, all in the name of service to Master, service to God. When she was in so much pain, her body was getting wasted, she actually trained her mind to not entertain this idea of suffering or pity, but to always have this sense of fiery self-control, control your mind for through every circumstance. And that was her power, her perseverance, her endurance through all of this helped her find joy and overcome the tremendous pain that she was going through. She had taught many people, but mostly through her experience. Master mentioned that she was a true renunciate, filled with love divine. And people felt that love divine as a fragrance filling up the room. And she would just influence everybody just by being there. Such was her wonderful motherly, divine motherly presence that everybody felt and was energized by that vibration. She was also, as a mother would do in every household, compassionate, kind, and always looking after the well being of everybody, and always made everybody feel at ease and comfortable. That was what she brought to Mount Washington. That's how she lived her life even before she came to Mount Washington. And then comes clarity of purpose through her meditation, through her steadfast attunement, which is a great lesson for us devotees, that it is a duty for all devotees to be constantly attuned in the God conscious state of the Guru. And it is through that, and it is through that receptivity of the Guru's grace that she is able to organically influence people and also drive clarity of purpose when sometimes people get into bouts of doubt about how their progress is going on. So here is a good example of a letter that she wrote to Sister Dayamata. See nothing, look at nothing but your goal, ever shining before you. The thing that happened to us do not matter. What we become of them does. That's so profound. Each day, accept everything as coming to you from God. And at night, give everything back into His hands. Like we say, make a spiritual bonfire and put everything into it. It's simple, but it's profoundly difficult to follow. And that's why we celebrate these days as reminders of the great saints and the divine spirits and people that have come to this earth and has led us by example. Also the human side of her is important. She had her moments of struggles too. So here is another letter that she wrote. Have tried to meditate, but found it very difficult. This morning I ordered myself to wake at 3 a.m. and commenced meditation at 4 a.m. without much apparent result till 6 o'clock. Then suddenly it came. I often compared my meditation attempts to pushing a boat down the beach into the river. One pushes and pushes till suddenly it is afloat and the current catches it. I can stay a long time in this state, floating in the current. When Sister passed away, the last words that she uttered was, "What joy, what joy, too much joy." And Master, and her forehead was really worn. And Master said that she passed away as a liberated soul in the high state of samadhi. That's when, the forehead becomes so worn. So she is a param mukta. And her fragrance, the footsteps that she has set for us, may that inspire us, may that guide us, may we all attempt to have every thought as if we are serving God and God alone. So we have God behind every thought that we have. I'll finish by reading this concluding paragraph, so beautiful, from the dewdrop has slipped into the shining sea. That is Guruji's tribute to Sister. In every flower, every leaf, every gust of wind in the hermitage where she lived, in every particle of earth, and the twinkling stars and Milky Ways, wherever cosmic wisdom is, I shall feel the spirit of Sister. May we all feel the spirit of Sister in everything and everywhere, in everyone around us on this wonderful Divine Mother's Day and every day. Om, peace, Amen.